Mayor, staff is ready when you are.
Very much. Good afternoon. The meeting of the Sacramento City Council and the Housing Authority will come to order. Would the clerk please call the roll to establish a quorum?
Thank you. Vice Mayor Ashby.
Here.
Councilmember Laloe.
Here.
Councilmember Harris.
Here.
Councilmember Valenzuela.
Here.
Councilmember Chenier.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Guerra.
Here.
Councilmember Jennings.
I'm here.
Councilmember Vang.
Here.
And Mayor Steinberg.
Here. Good afternoon, everyone. Councilmember Valenzuela, would you please lead us in the land acknowledgement and the Pledge of Allegiance?
Sure. Thank you, Mayor. Please rise for the opening acknowledgement in honor of Sacramento's indigenous people and tribal lands. To the original people of this land, the Nisenan people, the Southern Maidu, Valley and Plains Miwok, Patwin-Wintun peoples, and the people of the Wilton Rancheria, Sacramento's only federally recognized tribe. May we acknowledge and honor the Native people who came before us and still walk beside us today on these ancestral lands by choosing to gather together today in the active practice of acknowledgement and appreciation for Sacramento's indigenous people's history, contributions, and lives. Thank you. Now please salute and pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
Under God.
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Council Member. Welcome to everyone. We begin today with the consent calendar, and then we have a discussion item on the Vista Nueva Home Key project. Members, are there any questions on the one consent calendar item? Seeing none, hold on here. Seeing none, is there any public testimony, Madam Clerk?
Mayor, I have no hands raised to make public comments on the consent calendar.
All right, then I'll take a motion, please.
Move consent, Mayor.
Second, Mayor.
Moved and seconded, Council Members Harris and Jennings, please call the roll.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Ashby.
Let's come back to her, please.
Thank you. Councilmember Laloe.
Aye.
Councilmember Harris.
Aye.
Councilmember Valenzuela.
Yes.
Councilmember Chenier.
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Guerra.
Aye.
Councilmember Jennings.
Yes.
Councilmember Vang.
Yes.
And Mayor Steinberg.
Yes, okay. That's the consent calendar. We do have one discussion item here.
Do we have a vote from Vice
I'm
Mayor
sorry,
Ashby?
Councilmember Vice Mayor Ashby, are you on? Okay, she must have had to step off. You know, I was like,
Mayor, I am here. I'm sorry. I lost my something for a minute there.
don't worry about it. This is the consent calendar. We just want to record your vote.
Yes, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Then that passes 9-0. We now move to the one discussion item, the Vista Nueva Home Key project. Director Dozier, welcome.
Hey, Mayor, this is me. Also, could I start us here really quick?
Yes, of course.
All right. Thank you very much. And I'll hand it off to Executive Director Lachelle Dozier in just a minute. But I just wanted to say to everyone, thank you so much for your support of this great project. This is, of course, Mayor, your project Home Key transition in North Natomas at the former Stay Bridge Hotel. Really excited about this project, 110 plus units, which she'll talk to you about for families with at least one minor child who are experiencing homelessness, so we can transition them out. She's got good news and bad news for you today. The bad news is that we had hoped to move people in, Mayor, next month. That was our original timeline. But in the inspection process, there are some construction items, which you guys may have seen in your packets today. The largest of which is that we have to replace all of the windows in the building that are going to take us through the summer. So Ms. Dozier will give you some more detail on that, but we won't be able to move families in until early fall because we have to unfortunately go back, fix a couple of fire issues, and then change out all of the windows. So that's unfortunate, but she has good news for you too in terms of securing funding and pinning down federal and state dollars. So Ms. Dozier, I'll hand it over to you, but thank you so much for all of your hard work. I think sometimes we think we take a vote here and then it just happens, but there's a ton of hard work on your end to put all of the pieces together. And I want to acknowledge that. And I don't want anybody to feel bad about the timeline stretch a little bit here. It's okay. We have to make sure the building's safe for the occupants. So thank you. Thanks, Mayor.
Of course, this is a great project. Ms. Dozier?
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, Angelique Ashby, Vice Mayor. I just wanted to introduce Ann Nichols, who's going to do the presentation, and we'll talk about some of the things that we need to make sure that we take care of with the project so that we can move forward, but really very excited to be here talking before you. There is a slight delay as we already kind of put in the staff report, but we feel very confident with this change that you will approve today, we can move forward. So Ann, if I could turn it over to you to give the details.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council members. Ann Nichols, Management Analyst. The report before you requests authorization to allocate funds and enter into funding agreements to assist in the unexpected construction costs at Vista Nueva's permanent supportive and transitional housing project by developer Jamboree. In October 2021, the Housing Authority received from this Council and Housing Authority Board to apply for home key funds to be used for the project. At that time, an allocation of $8.9 million in local funds to serve as gap financing for the project was also approved. In December 2021, HCD announced that the project was awarded $29 million in home key grant funds. Since that time, staff has been conducting due diligence activities. As part of the due diligence, Jamboree staff began discussions with both the building department and fire department. The following 3 areas were identified, which made additional construction costs to the project: updating the windows in the units to allow for egress in case of a fire and emergency, upgrading fire alarm systems and panels to current code, and expanding the laundry room. Staff is recommending an additional allocation to the project of $683,750 in home funds to cover these unanticipated project expenses. Staff is available to address any questions you may have.
Okay. This is really an important project. And how many people will benefit?
There are going to be 116 units. 110 will be permanent supportive housing units, and the unit sizes range from 1 to 3. So imagine between 2 to 6 households, or maybe 7 per unit. And then we will have 10 transitional or interim units, and those will hold around 1 to 2 persons per household.
Is this going to count as part of our inventory under last week's measure if approved by the voters?
I think that's a really good question.
It does, Mayor. I asked that question last week. It does.
I assume it would. It's exactly what we need to be doing more of, and will be doing more of if we're legally committed to getting the 60% capacity. So it's good. It's great. Thank you, SHRA, for following through, hoping to get the money, putting it together, and sorry for the slight delay. I mean, but sort of expected in a way, I guess, right? There's always going to be something, but it's not a year's delay. It's only a couple of months. So there we go. And thank you, Vice Mayor Ashby, for shepherding this.
Of course. Ms. Dozier, did you need a motion?
Yes, we do.
All right.
Do we have
Mayor.
let's go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm happy to make the motion and then let whoever wants to speak. But
Who wants to second this?
I'll
I'll
second.
second. I'll second.
I'm not sure who popped up first.
I said first.
I'll let the clerk kind of look at the videotape and see who got in first. So is there any public testimony?
I do have one hand raised to make public comment on this item. So phone number 4366. Mr. Davis?
This is Lambert. I wanted to send a shout out to hope I pronounce her first name right, Lachelle Dozier. I've studied her throughout the years and how she operates in dealing with City Hall. And so I think she should be commended. It's almost as though every time that the SHRA comes under scrutiny, whenever there's a question asked to her directly, most likely she has the answer. Whereas if you ask certain people in other parts, they have to get back to you. It might be 8 months. It might be this. It might be that. So when I see someone that what I call has integrity, I would just like to commend her. I think she's outstanding down there. And I believe if you bring more people in that look like her, you probably will get the same results because we want jobs just like everybody else. So thank you to her because she's been a person of integrity from my perspective.
We agree, Mr. Davis. Thank you. Okay.
I have no more speakers.
Very good. I'm sorry?
I have no more speakers.
Okay, let's call the roll then on the motion.
Thank you. That was a motion by Vice Mayor Ashby and a second by Councilmember Harris. Vice Mayor Ashby,
Yes.
Councilmember Laloe,
Aye.
Councilmember Harris,
Aye.
Councilmember Valenzuela,
Yes.
Councilmember Chenier,
Aye. Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Guerra,
Aye.
Councilmember Jennings,
Yes.
Councilmember Vang,
Yes.
and Mayor Steinberg.
Yes, all right. On our way. Thank you. Thank you again. It's a big deal. Members, that concludes the Housing Authority meeting for today. Are there council ideas and questions or public testimony on items not on today's agenda? I see none of the council members up. We do have a meeting at 5 o'clock. I'll remind you to update on the comprehensive siting plan. And I'm sure there'll be more conversation there about related issues. Is there public testimony from anyone here, Madam Clerk?
I do have one hand raised. It's a phone number, 4366.
Mr. Davis, okay. Go right ahead, Lambert.
Well, first of all, I would like to I'm glad the mayor's there and hopefully some other people on the city council. I'm determined to get Grant High School's basketball team who won the city championship at Golden One Center recently. It's baseball season now, but the reason why I'm calling Mayor and to people who care down there is that I saw where El Grove was in the Sacramento Bee, and they did a big thing for them in El Grove, old El Grove. And I mean, that's what you should do for teenagers when they won. They won the state championship. And for the record, Grant beat El Grove to go to Golden One to win the championship. So they actually beat the future state champ. And so shout out to El Grove. But I want to see Sacramento do something. I want to see the Sacramento Bee do a story on the Grant High School basketball team. That's a major accomplishment by them during the pandemic. So another example of Del Paso Heights hopefully getting what we deserve. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, members, we have a closed session as a city council at 4 o'clock and then a city council meeting at 5. I see nothing else before us or anybody up to speak, so let us stand in adjournment. Thank you.